Hi everyone, it's Scott from Maths Logos. In this lesson, we're going to look at multiplying decimals using what's called related calculations. In the previous lesson, we looked at using fractions, so this is a slightly different method. So let's jump into our first example. So let me just explain what I mean by a related calculation in the context of this first question. Here we have 0.3 multiplied by 6. What I can spot is that this calculation is similar to the calculation 3 multiplied by 6. And I know the answer to that, it's 18. Then what I want to do is I want to relate this calculation to what I had at the beginning. Well, I had 0.3 multiplied by 6. And what I can spot is that to go from 3 to 0.3, I divide by 10. What that means is my answer, 18, needs to be divided by 10 to get the answer to this calculation, which is 1.8. Let's have a look at the second one. We have 0.12 multiplied by 4. I'm going to consider the calculation 12 multiplied by 4, and I know the answer to that is 48, and I'm going to use that answer to help me answer our calculation, which is 0.12 multiplied by 4. Now, I haven't changed anything in regards to the 4, but to go from 12 to 0.12, I've divided by 100. What that means is the answer to this calculation is going to be 100 times smaller than 48. I'll do 48 divided by 100 to give me 0.48. Pause the video and give these two questions a go, and your answers will pop up on screen in just a second. Okay, your answers are on screen for those calculations. You should have got 3.2 for the first one and 0.63 for the second one. And my working out is there if you want to pause the video and check where you went wrong, if you did. Hopefully you didn't. In the next example, we've changed both of our numbers. So if we have a look at this calculation, 0.3 multiplied by 0.2, my related calculation, which I know the answer to, is of course 3 multiplied by 2, and that's 6. Let's see what we did to the 3 to get to 0.3. Well, we divided by 10. And to go from 2 to 0.2, I would divide by 10 as well. Okay. If I've divided by 10 twice, that's equivalent to dividing by 100. So my answer to this calculation is going to be 100 times smaller, and I can write that as divide by 100. 6 divided by 100 is 0.06. In the second example, I've got 0.5 multiplied by 0.09. I know that I will look at the calculation 5 multiplied by 9, which is 45. And then I'll see what did I do to each number. Well, how do I go from 5 to 0.5? I divide by 10. And to go from 9 to 0.09, I divide by 100. So this calculation that I've got is actually 10 times smaller, followed by 100 times smaller than the calculation above. If I divide by 10 and divide by 100, that's equivalent to dividing by 1000. My answer to the calculation I want to get is going to be 1000 times smaller than 45. 45 divided by 1000 is 0.045. So that's my answer to this one. Pause the video and give these two questions a go, and then I'll pop your answers up on screen with the working out in just a second. Okay, so your answer to the first one should have been 0.56, and to the second one, 0.033. Okay, let's look at our next example. Calculate 3.2 multiplied by 0.4. The related calculation I want to use is 32 multiplied by 4. Now this is a non-calculator question, so I'm going to go ahead and work that out. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, and then 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. My answer to this is 128. Then I'll consider what I did to go from 32 to 3.2, and to go from 4 to 0.4. Well, to go from 32 to 3.2, I've divided by 10. And to go from 4 to 0.4, I've also divided by 10. Dividing by 10 twice is equivalent to dividing by 100. So I'll divide my 128 by 100 to give me 1.28, and that would be my answer. In the second one, I'm going to look at the calculation 105 multiplied by 45. And again, I'm going to need to use my column multiplication to do that because it's non-calculator. I'll set up something like this. 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. 5 multiplied by 0 is 0. Add on your 2 to give you 2. 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. Before I start doing my 4 multiplied by everything, I need to put down a 0, because remember the 4 is in the tens column. 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. Again, I've got another 2. 4 multiplied by 0 is 0. Add on my 2 to give me that. And then I'll do 4 multiplied by 1 to give me 4. Add these two numbers together. 5 and 0 is 5. 0 and 2 is 2. 5 and 2 is 7. And I've got my 4. My answer is 4,725. Then I'll consider how I went from 105 to 10.5. Well, I divided by 10. And then I'll consider how I went from 45 to 4.5. And again, I divided by 10. Overall, that's equivalent to dividing by 100, so my answer would be 47.25. Pause the video and give these two questions a go, and then your answers will be on screen in a second. Your answers are now on screen. You should have had 0.63 for the first one and 225 for the second one. If you're following along in our lesson booklets, please now complete exercise 1. Thank you for watching the video.